Thank you.
Order.
I beg to move that this House has considered energy cost support for the ceramics industry in North Staffordshire. Sir John, it is an honour to serve under your chairmanship, and I am grateful that this topic has been selected for debate today. I'm delighted too to be joined by my fellow MP for Stoke-on-Trent Central, and I also thank all other honourable members who are in attendance today. Now, this is a citywide and a nationwide debate, and it is critically important that we speak with one voice on the issues to support the industry as much as we can. Now is the time to act. It was only last month that Royal Stafford, a ceramics firm in my constituency, went into liquidation after nearly 200 years of making fine pottery. This was a devastating blow for our local economy. Over 80 people lost their jobs, and it highlights the real urgency of today's debate. What happened at Royal Stafford should not have happened, and it shouldn't have happened to all the other companies over the years. We've got to fight for our pots. Now, I'd like to place on record my thanks to Colin, Sam and the wider GMB Union for stepping up to support those affected, and I look forward to our sustained engagement on this matter. I also want to pay tribute to the ceramic companies that operate in my constituency of Stoke-on-Trent North: Moorcroft, Burley, Steelite, Moorland and Churchill, to name only a few. And I would like to thank Rob Flello and Ceramics UK, who have campaigned tirelessly on behalf of the sector. The ceramics industry is integral to our story as a city, hence our pottery's name. And today, in our centenary year, it still employs over 3,000 people, exporting our fine products all around the world. We cannot afford to lose these jobs, nor the skills of our workforce. Disposable household income sits already in Stoke-on-Trent some £5,000 behind the UK average, according to the latest ONS data. Over the years, we've already lost our pits, and we cannot afford to lose any more of our pots. Our ceramics companies must remain a focus of economic growth and industry for our city. I will give way.
Can I commend the honourable gentleman for Stoke-on-Trent North for bringing this forward? He's absolutely right to highlight the issue of the ceramics industry. Similarly, in Northern Ireland, we've had three in Larne, Belfast and Londonderry. We've also had a very rich history in ceramics. But in terms of education, to help the honourable gentleman if I can, Ulster University in Belfast has helped to develop new advancements in the ceramics field. There's much more can be done. There's a future for ceramics, is a point I'm trying to make. And does he believe and agree with me that more could be done in terms of education to encourage more young people into the field if there is a vision and an opportunity for the future?
I thank the honourable member for Strangford for attending my first Westminster Hall debate, and as normal he raises some really important points. I remember the old days of Stoke where we actually had bottle kilns attached to our local schools, and they gave people the first opportunity to learn the skills. Sadly, they've all gone. But the point about getting people interested in the sector and learning skills is a very valid one. I'm also delighted that we were awarded World-Craft City status in Stoke-on-Trent for our ceramics heritage last year. I know many will be familiar with our household tableware names. I've spoken before about our turnover club. That's where you pick up the plates and you look where the provenance of those plates came from. I've explained in the past how my mum and my granddad worked in the pot banks of Tunstall and Burslem, namely H&R Johnson and Dunbennett & Co. But many people do not realise that ceramics shapes every aspect of our lives. Ceramics companies manufacture the clay bricks, roof tiles and pipes that we need for our homes. Without refractories, it would be impossible. Yes, of course I will.
I'm grateful to the honourable gentleman. Thank you for allowing me to intervene. There is another sector alongside pots and roof tiles, and that is bricks. So I just wanted to come in on that point as the member for Aldridge Brownhills. We have Ibstock, and looking to the future, there's a huge amount of investment going into the Ibstock factory in Aldridge. We also have Wienerberger as well. But I think one of the challenges, and I think he may agree with me, is that this sector is really impacted by energy costs. So I think this is an area that we have to continue to look at. How can we support the energy-intensive sector in every way we can, because this is the future.
I thank the honourable member for those comments, and I know she's spoken passionately about this matter in the past, and I will be coming on to the point about the need to support companies with energy bills. So I was saying about how ceramics has an impact on our everyday life, and without our ceramics we wouldn't have the ability to make steel, glass and other high temperature products. Without ceramics we would have no cars, no buses and no mobile phones. What a scary idea. And without advanced ceramics we'd have no aircraft, defence or medical equipment. Of course I will.
I thank my honourable neighbour for giving way. He will have heard, like me, that advanced ceramics carbon filters are going into submarines being built not just for the UK but for the Australian Navy, and with the commitment that this government has rightly made to huge increases in defence spending, perhaps he will allow me to join him in suggesting to the Minister that one way you could help the entire ceramics sector is by redirecting some of that commitment to defence spending to ensure that those ceramic components get the help and support they need right now.
I thank my honourable neighbour for that intervention, and I couldn't agree more, and I'm certain that the Minister will have heard those comments and I wholeheartedly support it. And just to continue, of course, we would be eating and drinking from wooden bowls and drinking from cups without the beautiful tableware that we enjoy, including, as I said, the many plates, cups and saucers we see here across the Westminster estate. The world as we know it simply would not exist without ceramics, and I urge the government to recognise that the UK ceramics industry is a vital, critical enabler of the UK economy, as we said, from building homes to high technology to steel making. But repeatedly, I hear concerns from companies regarding their sustainability following dramatic increases in their energy bills. For energy-intensive industries like ceramics, energy cost pressures are significant. In fact, I've heard from companies in my own constituency of Stoke-on-Trent North that their energy bills have trebled. One company even told me they've seen energy bills increase 300% in 10 years. The sector was hit hard by the energy crisis. Inaction left us too dependent on tyrants like Vladimir Putin. This has had a huge impact on both production and raw material costs, and support is urgently needed to protect our businesses. Sadly, I know some employers across our city are already making redundancies due to escalating costs. This is a disturbing trend that will only be exacerbated by inaction. It takes a vast amount of heat to produce the kind of ceramics products we make. According to Ceramics UK, the UK ceramics industry uses around 650,000 megawatt hours of electricity and around 4.5 million megawatt hours of gas every single year. With gas currently costing around £47 per megawatt hour and electricity in the region of £297 per megawatt hour, these costs quickly add up. Now, when you consider that gas used to cost around £11 per megawatt hour, the impact on our businesses is clear to see. Of course, a significant portion of those costs comes from non-commodity taxes and levies. Many ceramics companies pay high carbon taxes under the UK emissions trading scheme, and ever tighter restrictions of free allowances is pushing up costs even more. And because the industry is gas intensive, while still using a lot of electricity, very few manufacturers receive the energy intensive industry's exemption. Now, I'm really proud that this government takes the climate crisis so seriously, and a move towards green energy is desirable. And if we can get to that point, wonderful. However, there is a reality at the moment that these companies are facing very significant bills. It's a fixed cost that those companies can't do anything about. And moving towards low carbon is not always straightforward. It is absolutely right, as I said, to push towards a clean energy transition. But in switching to low carbon methods, energy-intensive industries need a higher level of support. The technology to switch from gas to electricity firing is not readily available for many ceramics manufacturers, and connections to the grid are poor. Now, of note, some European countries are already taking action and have been for some years to support their ceramics sector. The European Commission recently unveiled its Affordable Energy Action Plan, which includes investing in liquefied natural gas projects to help companies to lower their costs. And a number of other countries too are also helping their energy-intensive industries. It's now vital that the UK follows suit. The history of our city is one of hard-working people. This industry is in our DNA. If we fail to act now, we risk losing not only the unique skills, as we talked about before, that have been honed in the potteries for hundreds of years, but also the communities formed around them. As I move towards my questions to the Minister, can I first start by thanking her for agreeing to meet with me, my parliamentary colleagues, Ceramics UK and the GMB Union to discuss the technical details around the support the sector needs. As a starter, however, following my discussions with Ceramics UK, the sector would like the Minister to consider the merits in offering subsidies for smaller manufacturers' energy costs. Indeed, Ceramics UK has told me that these cost pressures can be up to 6 times greater than they were in 2021. For the manufacturers that can use electricity, eligibility for the government's energy-intensive industries exemption scheme could be opened up for all UK ceramics manufacturers, including removing the UK business level test. And the government could also mandate priority grid connections. For ceramics manufacturers unable to switch from gas, could the Minister consider exempting the sector from new taxes and levies on gas, recognising the limited alternatives currently available? Ceramics really is the hardest of all energy-intensive industries to decarbonise. And whilst Great British Energy will reduce energy bills in the long term, failing to reduce energy costs for the sector now could put our ceramics industry at further risk. And this is simply not acceptable. With carbon taxes hammering the sector, I would also ask the Minister to consider the merits of introducing a temporary exemption from the UK emissions trading scheme for UK ceramic manufacturers until an effective carbon border adjustment mechanism is up and running and ceramics manufacturers can apply for CBAM Phase 2. And perhaps also of great help to our wonderful SMEs in the sector would be the provision of ultra-low interest loans to help finance more energy-efficient kilns, dryers and related equipment. Hydrogen does present an opportunity for the sector to decarbonise, as Ceramics UK recently unveiled a custom-built pilot kiln that runs on hydrogen. Could I ask the Minister to evaluate the hydrogen supply chain and market that is currently available to the ceramics industry and how this can be better distributed? And can I also ask the Minister that as we discuss the support the sector needs, that the Department for Business and Trade works collaboratively with colleagues in the Department for Energy, Security and Net Zero, amongst others, to find a solution on a cross-departmental footing. Now, without a desire to move away from the topic of energy costs, it would be remiss of me not to point out one further concern that is often raised by the sector with me and my colleagues. Counterfeit backstamping of tableware products from the likes of China is affecting our UK businesses. Whilst I appreciate the government efforts to regulate against these products through anti-dumping regulations and anti-dumping duty, I am concerned that many of those products do slip through the net. The fake products get listed on internet sites, and I ask for a cross-departmental approach to reviewing tabling offences and the classifications for importing counterfeit tableware products. So, to close, may I thank the Minister for coming to answer my questions, and can I end by inviting her to visit my constituency of Stoke-on-Trent North so that she can see just how brilliant our pot banks really are, how important they are to our local economy and our people. We must keep the pots open, we must keep those kilns fired, and the time to act is now. Thank you.
Thank you.